Hello boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to a very wet Hockenheim ring for the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheim Oval. We're in for quite a few laps. I don't remember how many. 26 laps of the Hockenheim ring circuit. It's going to be fast pace. We're looking at average speeds of around about 170, 160 miles per hour. I probably made that up. We will look at the season as it's progressed, and we shall look back whilst we watch this race. Worth noting that in the championship, Button only needs to score, and even then De La Rosa has to win to get the title. So it's all but certain that Button's going to win the title. Constructors, little bit more permutations, but Jaguar have a 15-point lead over BAR. Worth noting, Georgian should have 131 points. So at the moment we are looking through qualifying at a very wet German race. De La Rosa's on pole, Diniz is in second. Lazy third, Frenton fourth, Coulthard fifth, Matacane sixth, Alonso seventh, Young eighth. All people are doing laps. Hill, who managed to jump up there, is Button second and third now for the two Jordans. The cars struggling to know. It's challenging seeing what the weather permutations were going to be like. None of the drivers really knew what to expect. There was a low chance of rain for this session. We'll be able to see the weather forecast after a bit in the next 10 minutes after qualifying. A lot of the drivers have done all their laps. De La Rosa's done all their laps. Hill's done all their laps. Button has jumped, oh no, Hill hasn't done all the laps. Button's jumped above Hill. Hill has stayed in third, so it's going to be De La Rosa on pole, Button second. Hill third, Diniz fourth, Lacy fifth, Frenton sixth, Fisichella seventh, Coulthard eighth, Alonso ninth, Matacane 10th, Young 11th, Sato 12th, Raikkonen 13th. They're all separated by 1 second. It's going to be really tight. Looking down the rest of the field, Barrichello 14th, Panis 15th, Schumacher 16th, Webber 17th, Schumacher 18th, Montoya 19th, and Mika Hakkinen brings up the rear of the field. As we are coming to you live from Germany, we are in for a dry session after a wet qualifying. Not sure how many of the drivers would have prepared for a dry session. I presume quite a few of them would have gone for maybe a balanced or maybe even a wet setup for this race. But we're under starters orders. We're ready for the lights to go out, and we are racing! All the drivers have gone off of the grid. Looks like De La Rosa is going to stay in first, or is Hill going to go down the inside? There's Button that's going to go down the inside. Button takes the lead away from Pedro De La Rosa. That's already not good news for the Spaniard, who needs to be in front of Button. And Button needs to not score. Lazy's had a fantastic start. He looks like he's about to overtake Hill, coming down to the first chicane. Diniz is in fifth, Frenton 6th. Fisichella is in 7th, Matacane 8th, Coulthard 9th. Alonso is in 10th, Young 11th, Barrichello is in 12th. They've got Sato 13th, Raikkonen 14th, Panis 15th, Michael Schumacher 16th, Ralf Schumacher dropping one position, I believe, Webber 18th, Hakkinen swapping positions with Montoya 19th, 20th. As we go down towards the first chicane, everyone jostling for position. We're on board with Jenson Button now, as the first chicane has been dealt with. All the cars look like they've gotten through it. De La Rosa is in second, and everyone is in their slipstream. Lazy couldn't get past Hill in the end. Going towards a heavy braking point. He's going to go to the inside. De La Rosa looked at the inside of Button. Nothing doing there. Round the Jim Clark curve for the first time. The bottom of the track, the Ost curve as well, where Jim Clark famously lost his life. Then the third chicane, which splits the two straights up. and then accelerating towards the stadium. We're looking at 2 stopping here, possible 3 stoppers, definite 2 stoppers though. Alonso in 11th, Sato's in 12th. Good start for the Minardis. 10th and 12th at the moment. Barrichello 13th, Raikkonen's in 14th. I like these drivers are going to be really heavy. Panis is in 15th, 26 laps, sorry, not 24 laps. Schumacher 17th in the Ferrari. 18th is Ralf Schumacher. So Mark Webber's already overtaken both the Schumacher brothers. Hakkinen is in 19th and Juan Pablo Montoya is in last at the moment and losing track of the field. Button. Accelerating down the pitch straight. We're on board with a lazy. Dinner's looking down the inside of a lazy. Nothing really doing there. It's a very hard track to overtake at. You would have thought that the slipstream would be a lot better for these, but not much overtaking happening at the moment. Of course, these cars are going to be quite heavily fueled to try and make the 2-stop work. Hill third, but it's still under pressure from Pedro de la Rosa in the Jaguar 2nd place for the Spaniard, the 1-time champion. Button, realistically the champion elect at the moment, unless something catastrophic happens to Jenson Button through the 3rd chicane. 4th gear for the Jag. Accelerating through the gears, up in the top gear now, coming towards the stadium section. It is a very challenging right-hander. Go too far wide, there's a gravel trap waiting to gobble you up. And then the cambered corner. I mean, if you go at that corner a lot more quicker than you thought you would. And it's a very challenging double right. It's hard to get the power down before this final corner. And down the pitch straight they go. They are 148.8. As Button leads, De La Rosa 2nd, Hill 3rd, Alesi 4th, Dennis 5th, Frenson 6th, Fisichella 7th, Matscon 8th, Coulthard 9th, Young 10th, Sato 11th, Someone 12th, Barrichello 13th, Raikkonen 14th, Panis 15th. I don't know who the rest of the field are. Ralf Schumacher 19th, Juan Pablo Montoya in 20th place. Alesi looking down the inside of Damon Hill. He is back in the Brit slipstream. Hill looking down the inside and accelerating again. Button and De La Rosa dropping Hill slightly, which suggests that Hill is on a heavy stop fuel load again. Alesi's looking feisty as to go towards the Ost curve, the south curve, the bottom of the track again. Alesi cannot just make the move stick. Diniz 5th in the Jaguar. Frenson lonesome in 6th. 2 seconds and 1 second either side. Young 8th in the Minardi. That's Akane 9th. With Coulthard in 10th. Sato 11th. Alonso heavily braking. There's Barrichello go down the inside of Alonso. Not making the move stick. Although Barrichello stays in 13th. Raikkonen's looking to put the pressure on as well. Minardi already in the pits. That's why they're doing so well, because one of them is lightly fueled. Raikkonen 14th. McLaren also ready in the pits. I don't even know who that's for. Panis 15th. Webber 16th. Michael Schumacher 17th. Hakkinen's in 18th place. Which suggests to me that it's Hakkinen going into the pits. De La Rosa with the fastest lap. Hakkinen in the pits now. Montoya last. Soon to be Hakkinen. And that is what the fastest lap has done. Pedro De La Rosa putting the pressure on Jenson Button. Is he going to make the move? No, he isn't. Top 2 stay. Hill stays in front of what is now Diniz. Diniz has overtaken Alesi. 3 seconds is the gap between 5th and 6th place. Alesi and Frenson. So while we have gotten into the groove of the race, as Din is looking down the inside of Hill, is he going to make the move stick? Yes, he is. Din is up into third place. He's done what Lazy couldn't do in 3 laps in 3 corners. So as I thought that the race was getting into its groove, it's not. Hill looking on the inside, they've touched! Lazy and Hill touch. Hill cuts the corner a little bit, but we could probably forgive him the fact that he got touched by Lazy. Maybe I just won't talk about what I want to talk about because there seems to be action happening at the moment. Lazy's down the inside of Hill. He's got to kick up oversteer. He's had to give way. Oh, that's a huge tail end happy car there. Couldn't try and make an overtake on Damon Hill. Round the final corner. So, down the pit straight they go. We're going to talk about the amount of wins that these drivers have had. Jensen, but and the standings at the moment. Din is fastest lap of the racer. Takuma Sato with the fastest lap of the race. Where on earth has that come from? Someone get that up there, Japanese trouser. Button leads. Reggio second. So the leader of the championship, pretty much the champion-elect. If anything happened, it'd be a miracle. Button, 78 points. He's only got 1 win to his name all season, yet he has 78 points because he has had 9 podiums throughout. Had a string of second places, which has helped him into this position. De La Rosa 68 points. He had a string of 6 retirements at the start of the season. He's got the most wins out of any driver. He's got 3 wins. Looking to make it a 4th in this race. 8 podiums. He's at 10 points behind Button. 15 points behind that is Hill. Hill has more wins than his teammate Button with 2. But 4 podiums has put him quite far behind. Matsukane comes next in 4th, 48 points. He could overtake Hill, as that is Raikkonen going down the inside of Alonso for an overtake. Loads of pit stops happening on lap 5. Look at people are going for a full stop, which is crazy. Diniz with the fastest lap. Sato no longer has the fastest lap of the race. Matsukane's next, 48 points, 2 wins to his name. He's got 4 podiums as well. Then 5th place is the first of the 0 wins. It is Frentzen as Lazy makes his pit stop. He is the first of the front runners to make a pit stop. He's got no podiums. He's only got 2 podiums and 0 wins. It's just pure consistency that has put him onto 42 points in 5th place in the championship. He could overtake Matsukane if results go his way, but it's going to be a very tall order in his position at the moment. He's currently 5th. He needs to get at least 3rd. Next up is Fisichella, who's on 38 points. He's also got 0 wins, and he's got 1 less podium than Frentzen. 4 points over Frentzen could put Fisichella up into 5th place, but again, it's highly unlikely for that to happen. Next up is Lazy, his Renault teammate. He has 1 win, the only Renault driver to win this season. 34 points, he's got 3 podiums, he's level on points with Panis, who also has 1 win, but he's got 2 podiums, 1 less podium. So consistency has put him in that position. Up behind him in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9th place is David Coulthard. He's on 30 points. He's got 2 podiums as we watch Diniz have a pit stop. He has 2 podiums, 0 wins. He did have a win in Italy, but the race was redone due to technical hitches. As we see De La Rosa come out comfortably ahead of Jean Malaysi. Who else do we have? Next up, Dinner's in 10th. He is one of the few anomalies who has 0 wins and 0 podiums. He's on 29 points, 10th place. Again, same with his teammate who retired quite a lot of the first couple of races. As we see Mika Hakkinen off to the side of the road, he is out of the German Grand Prix. Disappointing end to a disappointing season for Mika Hakkinen in the McLaren. We probably not. It depends if we see Hakkinen again this next season. The release hasn't been delivered for the driver lineup next season. For season 5. Who else do we have? We have Schumacher. Won 2 of the first 3 races, but not done anything afterwards, except an anomalous 6th place in the last race. Loads of drivers heading into the pits in this next lap. De La Rosa with the fastest lap of the race. He's putting huge pressure, and that's David Coulthard. So both McLarens are out of this race, which has huge implications for the championship for the McLaren. We'll talk more about that afterwards. Coulthard out though. But loads of pit stops are happening. It's hard to keep track of what the position is now. I think Button leads, De La Rosa in 2nd. We know that. Hill is 3rd. But again, I'm not sure. I don't know who's 4th now. I presume it's Frentzen 4th because Ralf Schumacher was the arrows pitting as we see him falling down the field. The field is a little bit jumbled up at the moment because of all these pit stops. We'll have a clearer picture of the field when all the pit stops have been made. We're still looking through the standings. Yeah, Michael Schumacher. 2 of the first 3 races he won. He did nothing after that until the 6th place in France. He's on 26 points. Jordan ready in the pits for Button. And so are Jaguar for Pedro De La Rosa. They've got a 7-second lead over Damon Hill, who is going for a long stint again. Now it's going to cause a bit of confusion because I think, if I do remember, the Jordan team are before the Jaguar team in the pit lane. As Button takes a very late lunge into the pits, trying to side Pedro De La Rosa out, but Pedro De La Rosa is always pitting this lap. They're the only 2 drivers to pit. So Hill takes over the lead of the race. Frenson's going to take over 2nd place. Fisichella 3rd. Who is 4th at the moment? I'm not. Matt Takane, then Raikkonen. Button's coming after the pits. De La Rosa is still being fueled. De La Rosa is heavier than Button. And Button has come out in traffic. It's Michael Schumacher and Alonso in front of him. Montoya is in 10th. He's managed to get in front of him as De La Rosa. We're still looking through the field. Alonso comes up next. He is in 12th place. He's got 1 win and 2 podiums to his name. He can overtake a number of drivers, including Coulthard, if he wins this race. But he's currently in 7th place and not making a pit stop. It's highly unlikely that's going to happen. Raikkonen, 20 points. He's 1 point ahead, behind Raikkonen. There's a very good chance of overtaking him. In fact, if the positions carry on as they are, he will overtake him. As Raikkonen is putting pressure on Matsukane for 4th. Matsukane 4th in the championship. Raikkonen, as before mentioned, is 13th. Arrows ready in the pits. It's going to be for Frentzen. Renault ready for Fisichella. Look down the rest of the field. Young comes next, 18 points. He's won a race. This is his only podium of the season as well. Then we've got Webber, who also has 1 win and 1 podium. Sato has 13 points with 2 podiums to his name. And then the bottom 4, Ralf Schumacher's got 10 points, no podiums, no wins. Barrichello has 5 points, no podium, no wins. Montoya has 2 points, no podium, no wins. And Hakkinen has a solitary 1 point, no podiums, no wins for the McLaren driver. As the flurry of pit lane activity happens, Marcus Schumacher makes a pit stop. Off goes the fuel hose for the Arrows. The Arrows has to hold for Fisichella. Fisichella jumps Frentzen in the pits, which might suggest that Diniz is only just in front of these lot. Alesi is the biggest loser in all this. Alesi loses positions to his teammate and Frentzen. So the championship is settled at the moment in favour of Button, who's now streaking away from Pedro de la Rosa. The constructors isn't a given just yet, but you'd have to say, with the current positions of all the drivers, that it's a foregone conclusion that Jaguar are going to win their second constructors title. They're on 97 points. They're 15 points ahead of BAR. Jaguar have 3 wins in total, the joint most out of anyone on the grid. 8 podiums in total as well, the second most of everyone. As Damon Hill goes into the pits for his first of 2 stops. So BAR second, 82 points. They've got 3 wins as well. 6 podiums for the British American racing outfit. They've got pressure from Renault behind, 10 points. Chicane takes the lead. Alonso looks like he's going to come in, be in second. Now, where's Hill going to come out in relation to Button? He's behind Button, but he's going to be ahead of Pedro de la Rosa. Interesting. The overcut working wonders for Damon Hill. Arrows are 4th. Oh, sorry, Renault, we haven't talked about. Renault 3rd, they've got 1 win, 4 podiums. They're on 72 points, they're 10 points behind BAR. Arrows are pretty much in the middle of nowhere. They can still be caught by Sauber, but Sauber need pretty much a 1-2 finish for that. In fact, their only hope is a 1-2 finish for that to happen. Sauber, Arrows have 52 points, no podium, no wins, 2 podiums. One of only 2 teams to have 0 wins. The Lazy's already overtaken Frentzen. Is Young about to follow suit on the Arrows driver? They go to the heavy braking point of the Ost curve, and that is a very easy overtake for Alex Young. Alex Young, a man on a mission. Sato looking at a man on a mission as well. Raikkonen's in 12th. Schumacher 13th. He's got pressure from Barrichello in 14th. Panis 15th. We've got the rest of the field. Sauber 35 points for the Swiss team. 1 win, 3 podiums. More podiums than Arrows. More wins than Arrows as well. Another team with more wins and more podiums. Minardi 31 points in total. 1 win, 3 podiums. Same with Sauber. Ferrari are on the same amount of points as Minardi. They've got 2 wins, 2 podiums. McLaren 31 points as well. They've got 0 wins. The other team with no wins this season. 2 podiums to their name. Toyota 23 points. They've got 1 win, 2 podium. And Jordan is last in the table after being disqualified from the championship. They should have 131 points. Chicane comes out right in front of the path of Alex Young. Alex Young looking like he's going to try and make the overtake on him. They've got Jordan have 3 wins, but they have 13 podiums, which is why they're so far ahead. As it looks like a lot of squabble going on in the midfield. Chicane is well ahead of Frentzen. The overcut is working a charm for a lot of these drivers. Maybe the right decision was to do 12 laps for a lot of the teams. Young is much quicker than Matsukane. He's had to brake though in the middle of the straight. Frenson's in 9th. Sato 10th is catching up quite quickly. The Renaults have already pulled away. Frenson is 9th. We're back on board with. Young 8th. Again, trying to look down the inside of Matsukane. He's going to make a move on the Argentine. He's not. Gasto Matsukane stays in 7th. For the time being, we're on lap 12 of 26. 13 laps to go after this one. 14 laps really to go. As we get towards another pit stop for one of the drivers. A lot of the drivers have already made their first pit stop. Hill, under pressure from De La Rosa, is Hill helping button out quite a lot. Diniz is in 4th, so 2 Jordans, 2 Jaguars, 2 Renaults, a lazy Fisichella. And then a huge train of Matsukane, Frenson, Sato, Raikkonen. Young is currently in the pits. De La Rosa still putting pressure on Damon Hill. Barrichello 13th, Michael Schumacher 14th, Panis 15th, Webber 16th. Young still falling down the field. 17th is Ralph Schumacher, 18th would be Montoya. And that is the field left because the both McLaren drivers are out. De La Rosa looking down the inside of Hill. Very, very, very close to contact between the two cars. Hill stays in 2nd place, still annoying De La Rosa. Those Jordans have the blocking powers of a wall. No car can overtake them easily. As I see the 3rd chicane, they have just negotiated, so they're coming towards the stadium section. We've got a beautiful view of the chicane. We're seeing all the cars going past the Renaults. There's the huge battle over 8th place now between that's with Frenson, with Matsukane, Frenson, the Minardi of Sato, I think from Webber or Raikkonen, I'm not too sure. Frenson looking down the inside of Matsukane, can't make the move. That is, I still don't know what Sauber that is. We've gone on board with Frenson, couldn't make the overtake work at the hairpin. Sato 9th, which Raikkonen is in 10th place. A lot of bickering going on between these three. 3 different nationalities, 3 different cars. 3 different continents. Frenson looks to, oh, it's a lot of squirming going on. Raikkonen might take advantage of this. Lots of squirming happening in the midfield. It's for the fight for 7th. Really hotting up here. Heavy braking. Little clip by Frenson over Matsukane. Accelerating through the gears again. Towards the 2nd chicane, the off curve. Heavy braking. Frenson has a good line on Matsukane, but Matsukane's got the inside line of the 2nd part of the chicane. Keeps the position over the German. Frenson still putting the pressure on the Argentine. Remember the championship rivals, these two. 4th and 5th in the title race. 48 and 42 points respectively. Frenson needs realistically a 2nd place to get ahead of Matsukane. What Matsukane probably realises, Minardi already in the pits, it's going to be Sato. Frenson still can't make any inroads into Matsukane. Down the inside, nothing happening still for Frenson. Man, the double left-hander. Sato peels into the pits. Fisichella still not pulling away. Lazy's actually catching up to Diniz. De La Rosa's in 3rd. Hill 2nd. Still De La Rosa's behind. This is how hard it is to overtake. We've only seen, realistically, one, maybe two overtakes. Rubens Barrichello's engine has blown. Promotes Ralf Schumacher into 14th. Barrichello becomes our third retirement of the race. And it's a disappointing end to a disappointing season for Rubens Barrichello. He'll stay in 18th place with 5 points. Montoya and Ralf Schumacher pretty much back markers at this point. They're on 2 and 10 points respectively. Webber 13th, Panis 12th. Michael Schumacher, how it could have been. 2 wins in the opening 3 races. Unlucky to not win all 3 races, to be honest. As we have huge changes for the start of the season. We're not starting in Great Britain next season. Oh, no. That has been demoted to second place, shall we say. That's going to be the second race. It's replaced the Hungary round as Frentzen looks down the inside of Matt Takane again. He's got a fantastic line on the Argentine. But the Argentine's kind of lost speed. But now Frentzen has the inside line round the hairpin. Is he going to make the move stick? It's going to be a good move if he does. A touch lightly. This is the racing we want to see. The German crowd have gone their feet, cheering their German companion on to try and pass Matt Takane, but nothing happening there. Alesi's making the pit stop. Frentzen goes wide, allows Raikkonen to go through. That's not what the German ordered. And now he's got to try and make the move on the fin towards the last curve. We're on lap 16 out of 26. 11 laps to go, including this one. Heavy braking. It's not even the last curve. It's just, I don't. It's the first chicane. This one. I could have been saying the last curve for that corner this whole time, and it could be a super curve. Who knows? On board with Diniz. Right, so the Ox curve, we have the Clark curve, we've got the Senna curve. The Clark curve is the first chicane, the Ox curve is the second chicane, the Senna curve is the third chicane. Apparently. We've got the Agip curve, the Sachs curve, the Opel curve, the Sud curve, the Nord curve. Very easy. This is the Sud curve. And we're going up to the North curve. North corner. I know my German. Yeah. As De La Rosa goes wide, slightly hill. No longer under pressure. We are on board with Hill looking behind the 2 hungry Jaguars. The champions elect. Accelerating now towards the Senna curve. Fisichella is in 5th place at the moment. Frentzen still... Oh, Raikkonen's passed Matt Takane, in fact. Again, Matt Takane's done... Raikkonen's done something that a car couldn't do in the matter of a few corners, and that's pass someone. Jaguar ready in the pits. We're on board with Sato. Weber, that's the Ost curve they're going down towards. Ralf Schumacher 17th, he's currently in last place. It's Button, our race leader in the pits. The champion elect. Button stops in his pit box. Change of all 4 tyres. Hill takes over the lead. Pedro De La Rosa still putting the pressure on him. Diniz passes Button temporarily with both of the pits, and away goes Button, the final pit stop for the Brit. Someone is about to go past on track. It is Fisichella, and Fisichella is ahead of Button. Very interesting. Button's going to be a lot more heavier than the front drivers. We're on board with Fisichella. Diniz has fallen to 8th. He's behind the battle between Matsucane. Actually, Frenson has finally passed Matsucane. Not sure when that happened, but the classification showing Matsucane behind Frenson. That's 14 kilometers an hour to the center curve. Accelerating down towards a GIP, which I believe is an oil company, I think. Not too sure. Big A GIP corner now towards Sachs. Very difficult corner to get right. It's notoriously quick for the profile of the corner. And then a weird part of the track. It's really difficult to get right. Round Opel and the Sud curve. Now up towards the North curve. That's a lap pretty much of the Hockenheim Ring Oval for your German Grand Prix. Fisichella is entering the pits right about now, to the pleasement of Jensen Button, who now has a clear track ahead of him. He is in 3rd. Fredson 4th. Matsucane 5th. Toyota already in the pits. As Diniz has just gone past. Fisichella is still being fueled. Alonso's gone past. Raikkonen is in the pits. Away goes whoever that guy was. A lazy 10th. Up into 9th because Raikkonen has pitted. Montoya's just made a pit stop. His Young has just overtaken him. Fisichella 8th, he's looking for a point. Alonso's in 7th, he's looking for a point, but I don't think he's going to get it because he still has to make a pit stop. Diniz is in 6th. He's made all his pit stop. Matsucane is in 5th, he's not made all his pit stops. He's got to make one more pit stop this race. Frenson also has to make one more pit stop this race. He's catching up to Button slightly. He could brake a lot more early than the Brit. Look how much he gained on Button. Accelerating up towards the A-grip corner. Is ready to go into the pits is Ralf Schumacher. Not Ralf Schumacher. Heinz-Harald Frenson. Damien Hill is in the pits. He has caught up to Button quite quickly as Frenson. We're on board with said Hill. And De La Rose has also pitted as well. Who is going to get out in front? It is Damien Hill. Button is out ahead of Hill. Matsucane is also out ahead. Is he going to be ahead of Hill? Yes, he is. So then, the top 4 is at the moment Button, Matsucane, Hill, De La Rosa. Matsucane still has to pit, so Diniz will go into 4th, so it would be 2 Jordans, 2 Jaguars. I'm not sure where Matsucane is going to filter out in all this. He is not stopping for another couple of laps. We're on lap 20 out of 26, got 6 more laps to go after this. There's not really much to decide in the championship. They've both been decided pretty much, unless something drastic happens. accelerating down towards the A-grip corner, towards the stadium section. There is a lot of the drivers. Who is behind Diniz? It is a Toyota behind Diniz. It is Fernando Alonso. There's a Renault and there's a Arrows. Fisichella 7th, Frentzen 8th. So Frenssen's actually jumped Alesi again in the pits. And again, Alesi has to try and pass Frentzen, but I don't think it's going to happen. Raikkonen's in 10th. Young 11th. In the Minardi. Schumacher 13th. Sato 12th. There's Michael Schumacher in 13th again. 14th is a BAR of Panis. Contrasting afternoons for the two BARs. Webber's in 15th. Ralf Schumacher 16th. And Montoya's in 17th. And Barrichello and the two McLarens are the drivers that have retired from this race. As Button and Mazzacane are battling it out for the lead. Not going to matter too much because Mazzacane still has to make a pit stop for the record. He's still having a go and Mazzacane could not make the move stick on him. Mazzacane 2 wins, Button 1 win. Have a combined total of 13 podiums. Heavily braking towards the centre curve. Make sure not to hit each other. They've done a good job at that. It's kind of doing a good job at braking. Going towards the stadium section. The A-grip corner. Music to the ears of Jenson Button. BAR getting ready in the pit lane to service one of their cars. It's going to be Gaston Mazzacane, of course. And into the pits he goes. Pressure off the back of a Button. He is going to clean away towards victory lane. Down towards the Clark curve. Second place is Damon Hill. Third place is De La Rosa. There's De La Rosa in the Jaguar. Diniz is in 4th. 2 Jordans, 2 Jags, not 2 Renaults. I think Mazzacane might filter up behind Diniz. And that is a huge black smoke. It's Button! Jenson Button out of the German Grand Prix. I jinxed him. Well, this has made this race a lot more interesting because now De La Rosa has to overtake Hill to win the championship. I did well. This is for the huge spanner in the works. Jenson Button out of the German Grand Prix. Huge engine failure at the back straight. It's put Diniz into a podium paying position. He'll score his first podium this season ever, I think. In fact, I don't think Diniz has got a podium. But wow! Hill is now in the lead. De La Rosa is in second. De La Rosa only has to pass Hill. And the Jaguar will be in a championship winning position, I believe. I'm not sure what the heck, I'm not sure how it works. I think it's got to do with finances first. I'm not sure what the financial situation of all the teams are. Diniz is in third, Mazzacane is indeed in fourth. Fifth place, I believe, is Fisichella. Frentzen directly behind in sixth. Alesi is in seventh. Who's in eighth? Young is in eighth. Young in eighth. Raikkonen directly behind in ninth. Young's going to score a point. It's not going to matter too much because he'll be on 19 points. Alonso 10th, Sato 11th, We're on board with De La Rosa. He's putting pressure on Damon Hill. Remember, 10 points separate Button and De La Rosa. At the moment, it's down to 2 points. If De La Rosa passes Hill, I have no idea who has won the title. So hopefully De La Rosa does not pass Damon Hill at any point. We're down to the final 4 laps. I'm going to have to quickly do some maths on this because I'm not too sure. I think it's finance first and then head to head, but I'm not sure who financially is ahead. We should find out as soon as I remember how to do it. But that's each span in the works. Damon Hill leads at the moment. He is saving the butt of Button. Unless De La Rosa goes down the inside of the nod curve, not a chance. We are going down towards the clock curve. So the Jaguar currently has 7.5 million. Jordan have 500,000. Meaning that I believe Jordan is definitely going to be in the positive. I think Jordan might not actually go to positive. Meaning De La Rosa just has to overtake Damon Hill to win the title. And he's going side by side and Damon Hill. Nothing happening there. Damon Hill is saving Button's butt here. We're on board with De La Rosa, who's in second place. There's confirmation. I think De La Rosa just has to overtake Hill and De La Rosa has won the title. I'm not too sure, but we're down towards the final couple of laps. De La Rosa knows what's at stake. Hill knows what's at stake. He just saw his teammates grind to a halt on this part of the circuit. He knows the gaps in the championship. I'm sure the team radio is just constantly telling him, stay in front of De La Rosa, stay in front of De La Rosa, and Button will win the championship. The pressure on the British guy is huge to deliver for Button's sake. De La Rosa is piling all heaps of pressure on him at the moment. 2.5 tenths separate the two guys as we go on towards the final 2 laps. De La Rosa comes out of this slipstream of Damon Hill towards the North Curve. It's not an overtaking spot. He needs to get a good exit off of this corner. He is not, so I don't think he's going to have an opportunity to overtake at the Clark Curve. He's got the slipstream though of Damon Hill. He's slightly faster than Damon Hill. Is he going to try? He's not going to try at this corner. He might set himself up at the Oscar Curve. We're going to the final 2 laps. Oh, he nearly broke himself there to De La Rosa. If he gets a good exit off of this corner, which he has not, Hill's got a better exit. However, if De La Rosa can get into the slipstream, which he's done, he's slowly catching up to Hill. He's going towards the Oscar Curve now. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Is it De La Rosa or Damon Hill? De La Rosa breaks late. No, Hill has kept the position and has gotten a much more better exit than De La Rosa. It's just a journey between these two drivers. Got 1.5 laps to go to decide the championship now. Button has put a huge spanner in the works here. Hill is now under so much pressure from the guy behind. But De La Rosa could not get a single good exit on the only corner. Hill is hooking every single corner up perfectly to stop De La Rosa from overtaking. We're at the agent corner into the stadium section. The crowd are going wild because they can sense a championship battle. Hill versus De La Rosa. It's not even for the this is not even for the championship for Hill. It's for the championship for Button. I'm losing all manner of words here, but we've got pressure now. We're going on to the final lap round the Sud Curve for the 25th time. One more lap to decide the championship. We're on to the final lap. No overtaking opportunity here. He's gone slightly too wide. I don't think he's going to make an opportunity here. He's going to have to prepare himself at the Clark Curve to try and go for an overtake of the Oscar. I don't think is going to go. I don't think there's an overtaking opportunity at the centre curve. So I think the last curve is the last opportunity for De La Rosa to overtake. He's got to prepare himself properly. He's going to get exit. He's got a better exit than Hill. That is ideal for De La Rosa. He's slowly catching up to Hill. We're on the final lap, remember. Final lap. This is to decide the championship right here, right now. He's slowly catching up to Hill. Go towards the S-curve. Here we go. Side by side slightly. He's not made the overtake and he's gotten slow out of the exit. That could be huge. Hill might have just won the title for De La Rosa, but he's got a couple more corners to negotiate. Dinner's in the background. He's nowhere near. He cannot get involved in this fight. No pressure at the centre curve for Hill unless De La Rosa can get a fantastic exit off of this corner. We're going towards the stadium section, the A-ship corner. He's come out to the slipstream to try and overtake. He's not going to make this overtake stick. We're going towards the Sachs curve. It's a difficult corner. De La Rosa side by side with Damon Hill. The pressure on the Brits here. I don't think he's going to make. I don't think there's another overtaking opportunity here as they come towards the final two corners. The Opal curve. We're down towards the Sud curve. De La Rosa, one last attempt. He's not going to do it. Damon Hill's going to win the German Grand Prix. He's going to win the championship for Jenson Button. Jenson Button wins the title. De La Rosa cannot overtake Damon Hill in the final laps. So Jenson Button is the season 4 champion, confirmed by 2 points. Jaguar win the Constructors' Championship. They finish 2nd and 3rd. Matsukane finishes in 4th. Fisichelli's going to finish in 5th. French in 6th. Feliz is 7th. And now I'm going to have a crazy time trying to work out the points here. Raikkonen finishes in 8th. He's got the 1 point. Oh no, that means that Raikkonen and Alonso finish on the same amount of points. So I don't know who's going to finish above. I've got to work out all these points now because reasons. Which I'll get back to you in a sec shortly when I have worked these out. It shouldn't take too long because most of them are whites at the top, so I don't think there's any change. There's definitely no change of position at the tops. Button wins by 2 points. Jaguar are the Constructors' champions. Hill finishes in 3rd. Matsukane 4th. Frenson 5th. Fisichella 6th. Valesi will finish in 7th. Oh, Dennis has climbed places. Oh dear. Dennis finishes in 3rd. He's got his first podium of the season. He will jump above Coulthard and Panis. So he will finish the season in 8th place. Raikkonen will have 21 points. He's in the same amount of points as Alonso. I don't know who's going to finish above. I'm going to have to check. I think it might be Alonso finishing above of Raikkonen. Don't quote me on that though. Jordan would have won the championship if they didn't get disqualified. They would have been on 141 points. Jaguar finish on 111 points. And we look at the Class 5 results. We don't need to look at that. Average speed 220 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles per hour because I don't understand kilometers an hour. We only work in miles per hour. You can look at all the rest of the results whilst I try still work out. Even though the standings have already been shown, I'm still going to work this out in my head with a pen and paper. For all you insiders out there, I'm using pen and paper to work this one out. So, BAR go up to 87 points. Renault go up to... Oh dear. Malaysia didn't get 3 points. Malaysia got 2 points. He'd be on 36 points. So, that will be 78 points. Arrows go up to 55 points. And Sauber up to 36. And I think all the rest stay the same. Worked it out. As well, John Lazy finishes in 7th and Kimi Raikkonen in the last position. Because Young make a pit stop in the final lap. Shame on him. He would have scored a point. He would have made my life a lot more easier. Because Minardi, Ferrari and McLaren are all on 31 points, and I don't know who finishes above anyone else. You're going to see them in the order that they could come out with. I think it's going to be Minardi, Ferrari and McLaren. I don't know who's in front of them, just work it out yourself. But congratulations to Jenson Button for winning the Season 4 Championship. 4 different driver winners in the 4 seasons that we've had. Jaguar have become Constructors' Championship champions for the 2nd time. The other 2 champions are Jordan and Arrows. I hope you enjoyed Season 4. It has been a thrilling season. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for Season 5 in a few weeks' time. But thank you very much for tuning into this season. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you at the Monaco Grand Prix, the Season 5 opener. Thank you and goodbye.